Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5 a.m. Club. As you can see, we've got this brilliant, beautiful winter sunrise. I'm up here at Nelson Bay, Port Stephens. I'm at Zenith Beach, and you can see Mount Tomaree there, presented proudly on the headland to Port Stephens. And it's a glorious, glorious day. What I'd like to do today is take you through a book summary. And the book summary that we're going to go through now is entitled Maximise Your Potential by an author named Jocelyn Glei. Jocelyn Glei, a female author who has her views on how one can maximise their potential. I'll just move to the side here to get out of the elements. There's a bit of a breeze blowing, so I'll do my best to get the 5 a.m. club happening without too much buffeting of the breeze. But it is a beautiful place to be, and I'm always spellbound whenever I come here and get presented with a sunrise as glorious as this one here. One of the beauties of living on the east coast of Australia is that you do get magnificent sunrises that occur magically. They come up across the Pacific Ocean, and it's a sight to behold. Anyway, let's kick into this book summary and see where it leads us. And the author reminds us with a quote from her book that with focus and consistency, you can change your habits. By changing your habits, you reprogram your behaviors. And by reprogramming your behaviors, you're changing the things that controlled most of your life and ultimately determine your success and your destiny. So the author then goes on to remind us that you don't have to go big. You don't have to be an Olympian to find the kind of work and to find the passion that is fulfilling for you. Because we all know that each and every one of us is different. We all have different gifts. We all have different callings or calling. Some have one calling, others have multiple callings that phase in over the different years of their lives. So we all have to understand that we are at our happiest when we are doing the things that we are best at, the things that we are designed to do, the things that allow us to express our God-given gifts. So as we said, and let me reiterate this for each and every person, you don't have to go big to have a fulfilling life. You don't have to be the Prime Minister. You don't have to be the Premier. You don't have to be a leader in any way, shape or form to achieve the joys of life. All you have to do is to simply identify what you're good at and to express that as best you can, because that will bring you fulfillment. So the author has, I guess, 3 key points to come out of their book. And the first formal point from this author is that we need to focus on the lifestyle that we desire and your skills that we have to find out what our dream job is. Because as I said, our dream job isn't necessarily being Scott Morrison. I sit and watch him, and I'm in awe of his energy level. I'm in awe of his communication skills. I'm in awe of his resilience to get up every single day and to know that you're going to be hammered in question time, that the paparazzi, the journalists are going to be looking for a chink in your armour. The opposition will be hunting you down, and every single person will be on your back and trying to undermine you, and to keep on coming up with home runs where he smashes the ball out of the park is just phenomenal. But, as I said, I couldn't be the Prime Minister, and you probably couldn't be the Prime Minister either. You probably wouldn't be able to handle it. But thank God we have a person who has the skills, has the gifts, has the tenacity, and has the will to keep it going. So the author says and reminds us that you don't have to be an Olympian. You don't have to be the greatest in the world to live a fulfilling life. But what you do need to do is you do need to express the things that you are good at. And then, and only then, you will find the dream job. Your dream job. Not somebody else's, but your dream job. And our objective is for each of us to find our dream job. So as we said, there is fulfillment to be enjoyed from the lifestyle and culture of your job. The thing that you're good at, the thing that you're brought into the world to achieve. And your job could be as simple as being a friend. Your job could be as simple as doing a simple job in a work environment. The janitor, the doctor, the accountant, the lawyer, the director, the customer, the research analyst. Now, who knows what it is, but everybody plays their part, I guess, is the key point. So we need to match the job, the activity, to the lifestyle that we each desire. So we've got a choice, I guess, is the bottom line. Each person has a choice. Many people are too lazy to follow their dreams. Many people are too overwhelmed and prefer to live in comfort. But that comfort, of course, is a fleeting comfort. It doesn't last forever. So be careful that you don't get sucked into just doing what is comfortable now and missing out what will be comfortable for yourself, your family, your friends, and society well into the future. So the author then reminds us that we need to have a yearning to improve instead of just trying to stay good at your work. So merely having a be good attitude holds you back because you stagnate and grow unsatisfied. So the call to action and the big warning from this author is that merely having a be good, just being good at what you're doing, is not enough, and is an attitude that will lead you to bitterness, because you will be unsatisfied, because we need to continue to grow, develop, and continue the charge into our lives. And if you're unsatisfied, if you're unhappy, guess what? Your dissatisfaction will also wash over other people. You will hinder, both consciously and unconsciously, the people around you, because you will cause them to feel uncomfortable with their success. How true is that? How many times have we not done something for fear of making somebody else unhappy, or for fear of being better than somebody else? But each and every one of us have a different future. Each and every one of us have a different plan. God has a different plan for each and every one of us. And we can't base our plan, our future plan. We can't express the gifts or not express the gifts that we have been given because somebody else may feel uncomfortable or bad about it. Each and every one of us need to fully express ourselves in order to fulfill our mission in life. So you need to get better attitude is the bottom line coming from this author. You need to improve your attitude and to have a better attitude. So, and not to compare. This is the big point coming out of this book. We mustn't spend our time comparing ourselves with others, but to compare yourself to your own past, because this is what will make us resilient and help us deal with our failures better. Not comparing yourself to your mates, comparing yourself to your past, making sure that at each birthday you're working to make yourself a better version of yourself so you can change. You need to remove your fears of making errors, because those fears alone are what hold us back. Worrying about what other people think, worrying about what the future may hold. You just need to be bold, taking strong steps, consistent steps that are aligned to your values, your dreams, and making sure those incremental actions that you take are taking you in the direction that you desire and where you want to go. The last formal point to come out of this book from this author is that you can only take advantage of opportunities if you're willing to take risks and be bold enough and brave enough to overlook the potential of pitfalls. We're going to have problems along the way. There's no doubt about it. Regardless of what you do, there's going to be things that are going to distract you, that are going to frustrate you, that are going to cause you grief, but you just need to embrace it and take it into your arms and just continue along the path, dealing with each and every problem as and when they arise, without spending too much time pre-figuring out, pre-thinking or overthinking what may happen, because as we know, as we've learnt time and time again on Jim's 5am Club, that most of the fears that we face are irrational fears. Less than 10%. Less than 10% of all the things that you fear will ever come to fruition, which means that 90% of the time we are worried about things that are just never ever going to materialize and happen. And if they do happen, so what? We will deal with them one by one as and when they appear and come into our path. So the author then goes on to say that historically we survived by avoiding risk. In our prehistoric times, we needed to avoid risks in order to stay alive. We needed to avoid going for walks in the jungle or in the bush for fear of a saber-toothed tiger or a lion or something eating us up. That's how we're wired. That's how our brains are wired. But the important thing to understand is that we are still wired that way. but the risks that we worry about, or the risks that are embedded in our minds, in our brains, are no longer real. They are no longer there. So we need to understand that we need to rewire. We need to make some software upgrades to our brain so that we what's the word I'm looking for? So we don't fall into that trap, I guess, is a simple way of sort of suggesting it. But we need to work at removing those irrational fears. Because what happens, and the author harps upon this a bit, and I like to harp upon it as well, is that we are infected with perceived fears, with irrational fears, and our brain sets these traps all the time. Traps that we can't avoid, but traps that keep us from being and doing the things that we need to do. And one way of getting around it, according to this author, so the one call to action from this wonderful author is that we need to learn to focus on the benefits rather than the potential risks, the potential pain, and the potential losses. So a big call to action is to spend some time, yes, by all means, think about the risks, think about the things that you can lose, but by the same token, think about all the things that you can gain. And the way you do it is by focusing on what you want to achieve. Because usually what happens, and this is something that I've learnt through investment, through my share investment, through my high risk investment in shares, as I am a share trader, is that usually the greatest opportunity is much bigger, much bigger than the risks that you face. So rather than feeling comfortable, rather than holding yourself back and being safe, sometimes you're better off moving towards the risk, because that risk is where the opportunity is. That risk will take you to other places, will open up other doors, will slide windows and doors and take you to a place that will surprise you, that will reward you with many more opportunities, that you will be able to make many more choices with. So I think I'll leave it there. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club, where I'm coming to you from Zenith Beach. You can see Mount Tomaree up there. I'll head up there shortly. You can see the magnificent sunrise coming across Zenith Beach. It's a beautiful beach here. I'm by myself now, actually. There was a whole stack of people here earlier enjoying the magnificent sunrise. We had dolphins frolicking in the surf just off the beach, and it was absolutely magnificent. I'm just so happy that I was able to make it and come up here this morning. So let me just go for a walk along the beach and just finish off this 5am club. It's a winter's day, but having the sun glistening off the water, the low sun, the unfiltered sun just caressing my face is so nurturing and so beautiful. Anyway, thank you once again for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. May we be the wind beneath our wings, helping us get through the day, get through the morning, get through our challenges. And I look forward to coming to you from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we can live, learn, and pass it on So once again, thank you for joining me. It's a wonderful place to be up here at Nelson Bay. It's relatively mild. It's not as cold as what I thought it was going to be. So another gift of getting up early in the morning and just getting out of the house, out and about. Let me finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's get out and about and enjoy the beauty of this country that we have. Even though we have COVID-19 and we can't travel internationally, we can indeed, and we should indeed enjoy the beauty of this country that we have, Australia, and I hopefully will be able to bring more and more 5am clubs to you from different locations, where one of my goals is to highlight the beauties of this country and overlay it with a message of empowerment to help us all basically learn from OPE, other people's experience, where we can hopefully incorporate it into our own skill set. Take care, everybody. We like ya. From Jim at Zenith Beach. Take care, and we'll chat again. Bye for now.